You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
And today on our Total Wellness Tuesday show, I'm going to talk about one of the main things people come to see me for in my practice, and that's a lack of sleep or poor quality of sleep or feeling run down or not waking up refreshed. All of those things have to do with poor sleep. And there are essentially three main reasons, and everything falls under that for the most part, of why people can't sleep. So I just have to tell you that poor sleep leads to every other thing in your life not going well. It's like poor eating leads to all these other poor things. Well, you have to really get yourself a good 7 to 8 plus hours of sleep a night. I know people can survive on less, but again, they're surviving, they're not thriving. You'll always do better at 8 hours of sleep per day. Some people a little bit more, some people a little bit less. But also, you want to think of it this way as well. Think of it in terms of sleep might not be that exciting to you, but getting to your goal is going to be more exciting. Meaning, like, if you're looking to lose weight, well, people who don't sleep well don't lose weight as well because they have higher cortisol levels, higher levels of estrogen, and they can't regulate blood sugar as well. They don't burn as much body fat. All of these things are really important. And if you're not well, guess what? Getting to your wellness goal happens also when you're sleeping because that's when your body's detoxifying. That's when it's resting. That's when it's shifting to that parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and relax and the rebuilding stage, that anabolic stage. Very, very important. That's when your body goes to work on cleansing, detoxifying, really, really important. And then in terms of living longer, getting that good quality sleep has always been correlated with less disease and living longer because, again, your body gets to repair and rejuvenate. That happens when it's not breaking down during the day. So just some steadfast rules for sleep is that you do want to try to get to bed around 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. at the latest at night. And if you can do that, you're going to get more hours before midnight. But here's the thing, like there's not a set time. The set time is you want to go to bed shortly after the sun sets. Now, I know the sun sets very early in the winter in a lot of different climates, especially here in New England. It can get dark at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. So obviously you're not going to go to bed at 5. But those in the winter, you want to get to bed a little bit earlier. And then when do you want to wake up? Well, you want to wake up when the sun starts to rise, and you want to wake up naturally. And ideally, you want to wake up with the sun if you can. That will gradually wake you up out of sleep, start to lower those melatonin-based levels, and start to naturally increase cortisol. So my ideal regimen for most people is kind of like a work day, 9 to 5 or 10 to 6, and that's your overnight hours. So if you are dealing with a wellness-based issue, you want to try to get a little bit more sleep. But the people who are going to bed at midnight or 1 a.m. because they believe they're night owls, I'll tell you, that's not the truth. No one is a night owl by nature. They aren't. That's called a broken diurnal rhythm. And diurnal just means that you're supposed to get a peak production of cortisol in the morning and then a lowered production at night. And that means cortisol means energy units. So you want to produce a lot of energy in the morning and less energy at night. And that's, again, been correlated with longevity. They've done studies on nurses. Nurses that work the overnight shift, they're going to produce more cortisol and less melatonin. Melatonin being that powerful hormone that's also an anti-cancer hormone, and they're going to produce less of that if they're not working with the natural rhythms of the earth. And this is also pretty apparent because if you were to live outside like we did a couple hundred years ago, and you didn't have room darkening shades and all of these things and electronics and electricity, you'd be going to bed at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or so at night, and you'd be waking up at 5 o'clock or so when the sun rose. Like, that's just the way it is. You can't, if you're outside, believe me, your body's waking up. If you're camping, you know what I'm talking about. You're waking up when that sun rises. Or take the shades up and you'll see what I mean. All right, so that's the basis of sleeping. But now let's talk about this. there are three main reasons why you're not sleeping right now. And so one of them I just touched on, and that's the high cortisol. So if your cortisol is high at night, that means you're producing too much energy at night. And a lot of times that's coming from stress. You're stressed out, you're ending the day, you're still feeling stressed, you've got a million things to do, you're thinking about tomorrow and all the stuff you have to do. And it's causing a lot of anxiety. And then anxiety is making your body, again, start to produce more of that cortisol. So that's a really important thing. And the second reason that kind of goes hand in hand with this is that you can't turn off your mind, right? Your mind is just racing a million miles an hour and you're stuck in that fight or flight based syndrome. And when you're stuck in that fight or flight based syndrome, you are going to create more level stress and you're not going to be able to calm your body down. And in order for you to fall asleep, your heart rate has to lower, your body temperature actually has to lower a little bit, and your whole body has to get calm. And hopefully that makes sense. And the last reason, and this is a big reason as well, is that your body may not be producing any or very little melatonin. And that's because, again, it kind of all goes back to stress. When your digestive system isn't functioning well and it's stressed, meaning that your gut flora, the probiotics, the bacteria, the yeast buildup, all of those things, they're not working very well. Well, your body can't manufacture serotonin. Serotonin is that happy neurotransmitter, that happy molecule, basically, that is also a precursor to melatonin. So not only can you not be happy and calm the body down to fall asleep, but you're also not going to be able to manufacture that precursor to melatonin. So you're not going to produce melatonin adequately. So of course, you want to make sure that the room is dark at night. You want to make sure it's cool enough. You want to make sure that the bed is comfortable, all of those different things. All of that's important. Don't get me wrong. That's important. And I'll do a whole episode on like creating the right sleep environment. I'm happy to do that. But right now, I want to tell you that those are three main reasons why you're not sleeping, because a lot of people can sleep with not the right temperature and light in their room and all of those things if they have these three things corrected. So there's ways you can test for this. So you can actually do the saliva cortisol-based test, the saliva hormone-based test, and that's to find out your diurnal rhythm. Are you actually producing too much cortisol at night? And if you are, well, that's easy enough to knock back down, and that's one reason why you're not producing the melatonin that you need, and you're not able to shut the whole body off. And so that's really, really important to find out. And that's the main test. So that's the main one I would run for sleep. The other one you could run is the organic acids test if you have a lot of bloating and you have gas and you have maybe constipation or diarrhea or indigestion. So you could find out, well, is it a melatonin production issue from not being able to produce enough serotonin? And the organic acids test, that urine-based test lab, looks at serotonin levels as well. So here's the thing. Now, a lot of people aren't going to do functional medicine testing, even though I do recommend it. And you can do it right at home. I mean, literally, you go to stephencabral.com/store, and you can just purchase these tests. My goal was to make you and allow you to take back control of your own health and your own body. So what I did was I put these lab tests online. You can literally buy them yourself. They get shipped right to your home. You can do the saliva test with the instructions. Very, very simple. And you can do the urine test. You just collect a little urine in the morning right when you wake up. Very simple. You send it back to the lab. We get the results. We tell you what they mean. Really, really simple. But a lot of people may not do that, even though, again, I recommend it. You might want to just say, okay, well, what can I do about this? Well, of course, you want to start to just relax your body at night. You want to start to do a little bit of stretching. You want to turn the TV off. Turn off that flashing light in your eyes that's going to lower melatonin production. Start to calm the body down. And there's three great supplements because, again, if you don't know which one of these three things it is, we offer a supplement package. And again, you can just look at the products. You can. My job is to give you the information. You do is what you wish with that. But there's a nice magnesium-based product that allows you to turn off that fight or flight response, turn off your mind, calm your body down. And that's what magnesium helps to do. There's one specific powder that works fantastically well. You drink it as like a natural little nightcap before bed. You drink it about 20 minutes before getting into bed. Just sip on it, calm yourself down as you're starting to breathe, and maybe do some stretching and just relax the body. It works phenomenally well. People love it. The other one is a product called Best Rest, I believe it is. And that's going to provide a little bit of the 5-HTP, which is a precursor to serotonin. It's going to provide some valerian root, other things that calm the body down, and a tiny, tiny amount of melatonin that gets released later on in the night, which doesn't allow you to wake up. So it keeps you asleep. Really great one. And then the third one is something to help you get to sleep. So a lot of people have trouble getting to sleep. And for those people, we offer a quick melt melatonin, which is different than regular melatonin because this one doesn't make you groggy. This one gets into your system quick and it gets out of your system quick as well and just helps you get to sleep. These three products help people get that deep sleep that they need, even if they're not willing to do the test, because what we do is we correct the three reasons why you can't fall asleep in the first place. And then after you get yourself back into rhythm of sleeping, let's say for 3 weeks straight to a month straight, using these specific products, trying to go to bed a little earlier, about a half hour earlier per week, just kind of wean yourself back in time. Instead of midnight, try to get to bed at 11:30 and then 11 the next week and then 10:30. And then maybe it's always 10:30. Maybe you can't go to bed earlier than that. Well, that's okay, because then if you can sleep till 6:30, 8 hours later, you're still good. That works great. So then these 3 products aren't meant to be used for the rest of your life. They're used for a month or 2. You wean yourself off, and you should be able to stay then in that rhythm, in that cycle. And of course, you're doing healthy eating, all of those things with it. So hopefully that answers those 3 main reasons. Those are the questions I get all the time is, how do I correct this? What are the main reasons I'm not sleeping well? One is that low melatonin production. The second, or neurotransmitter serotonin. The second is that high cortisol going along with the anxiety. And then tied into that as well is you just can't turn off a racing mind because those magnesium stores might be a little too low. And so again, how do you get more magnesium? Well, if your digestive system isn't digesting your food well enough to extract it, that's one thing. But the other is that you might be too stressed and pulling too much calcium in your bloodstream, and magnesium is getting used up too fast. I won't get into too much biochemistry there. Just know that the products we recommend have obviously been proven to work. They work fantastically well. I use them all the time in my practice. People love them, and I simply want to share them with you. So all you have to do is go to stevencabral.com/store, look for our deep sleep package, and then you can decide if it's right for you. But either way, you have the information that you need now to get to bed early and wake up feeling refreshed. Thank you everyone for tuning into another Cabral Concept. And if there are any questions as a follow-up to this, please feel free to submit them right at stevencabral.com/ask Cabral. And of course, I will answer those for you on our weekend house calls. Thanks everyone.
Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.